kick some rock, kick some rock all night.
Right, well, hello guys, after trying to do 2 attempt videos and I've messed them all up, so here we go again. Welcome back to the Gamebro Studios. Yes, we're technically still on strike here, but at the same time we're not. We need to make content still, so hello. Yes, the writers strike and the actors strike is still going and I support that. So here we go. I am here to talk about a mental health awareness sort of thing and a sneak peek into the history of Resdan high school years, the bullying that went on and the results of that. I'm only going to go across the topics of the bullying story and the aftermath, as well as a friend called specifically for this story called Stephen P, a good friend of mine from high school who was also bullied and doesn't mind me sharing his story of this in this book. I'm not going to go into full details of everything, but I'll pinpoint some bits that have happened and we'll go from there. So, a lot of you are well aware that, yes, Resdan was bullied from day one in school, which most of this book is going to be talking about that, and as well as most of the sometimes of good memories that I did have, but mainly the lot of bullying that happened and the results afterwards. Now, high school was the one where I'm starting with from the history, is where the bullying was a lot worse and more stuck into memory, and the one that has really left a hell of a scars mentally and physically. But there were some bullying in the junior years, but we'll get to the junior years when I can get in touch with people that I know from that era to give me their point of view of me, their memories of me when I was back then, and so I can piece the story together, because I can't remember everything. I'm sure they can't either, but hey ho, we'll see what we can pitch together and work out, but things will be reworded and redone. But this is all about the bullying stuff and what I went through and my friend went through to raise an awareness that bullies are bullies. They're going to be in every day in life, in every school, no matter what. No matter if they say that the school has a zero tolerance on bullying, meaning they're allowed bullying if it benefits them. So, without further ado, my part of the story, and then Stephen P, he'll be known as in this. So I'm going to be referring to some bullies as in certain letters. These bullies I have no contact with anymore, and don't even know if they have a good life, bad life, but we always know one of these bullies has been in and out of prison, which is a waste of life in my mind, because you're supposed to live your life, explore, because humans are known for exploring. You know, you're supposed to live your life to the fullest, have fun, do what you want, you know, do as you please and live your life, not to live your life in prison and think you're a big man because you've been to prison. It's rubbish. It's a waste of life. You're not really going anywhere. Some I know for a fact that bullies will or you always see it in every bully stories. They always prey on the weak, and you'll see this in some of the phrases and stuff that are talked through in this book that I'm writing, and some of the stuff I'll be saying right now. as well as bullies always prey on the weak, and they always think their end goal is when they bully them that they make the weak person's lives a lot more, worse to live. Some go to the full extent of a word I cannot mention on YouTube, but where one takes one life, which is a win in their book, because they don't realise how much pressure and shit that they put on them. Some bullies do, some just do it out of fun, some do it to get the kicks out of pushing someone so far. But this is to raise awareness that you can't stop bullies, but if you are a bully, then you're an asshole. Some bullies are just doing it just to make themselves look good, which sometimes happens. It's one of them. But the one thing that they never know is what the effects on the person being bullied has, and there's very limited or lack of support for all this. They say there's a load out there, but you have to really look for it. My advice is always look for support off of people that have been through it themselves. Being very open to people that have been through it. Don't overload yourself to talk about it, but be like, I've been through this, and I'd like to talk about it, but I'll do it in steps. How I go about it, steps is the best thing. You go step by step, break it down. What was your bullying like? And then you always find at the end of it, I did. Once you've got it off your chest, it's not building in the back of your mind and making you worse. That basically makes a win. All I want to say is to the bullies that bullied me, you bullied me, but I'm still living, I'm still kicking, I'm still happy with my life. I've got a great life that I'm living right now, and I struggle, but I thrive on struggling, because it means the more harder I struggle, the more harder I work myself to do things, the more I'm proud of every achievement I've done, and that I don't have to pay for. I didn't have to, because I can, because I got wealthy parents, or because I got a decent job. Now, our family is used to struggle, so I don't want people to be like, I feel bad for you because you struggle. No, I don't believe in that. If you struggle, it means that you've worked and earned your placement in where you want to be in life. You've earned your hard work that you do. It's just basically that. So let's get into this quick and smoothly go through it. So, yes, a lot of people do know, somehow, if you follow the channel for a long time and you have me on social media and all that, I have suffered with things like severe depression, IBS, anxiety, and PTSD. Still do to this day. And one of the main things that this book covers is the one bully who may not know that the results of what he's done has happened to me, and probably doesn't care, but for everybody to know, this is where it starts. All of it. So we start off with the main bully, the main protagonist that's bullied me and my friend, whose name will crop up quite a lot. We'll go by the name of Bully RH. During a PE lesson, we're in the changing room ready to get changed, and Bully RH comes up to me and thinks he's cocky and punches me in the stomach, which caused me a lot of pain. He really thumped so hard to the point that it hurt to do my business. It hurt to sleep. It hurt to touch it. It was very tender. to the point where I had to go to get a scan on my stomach. Now the scan revealed that when he did punch me, it bruised the stomach lining, the stomach wall, to the point of results of what I am suffering with now, which is now known as IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome. The punch caused that, and now I have to keep adjusting everything in my life. Don't feel sorry for me. I don't need that. Just explaining what happened, and as I say, life's about living. It's about learning to do things. So I'm now having to, each time I get older, make sure to keep a note, because of so many concussions I've had during wrestling and falls on my head and damage into my head. I forget quite easily. So it's more difficult for me, but I'm learning slowly right now, and the list is getting longer. I was told when they first diagnosed me with IBS after the incident of the punch, about a couple of years, because the doctors in this country, in Colwyn Bay area, were shit. They didn't give a shit about me. They still don't. But I moved out of that area and got better doctors, who, unfortunately, they just tell it as it is, and they have to run by BS NHS rubbish. But we'll go into that. Now, I was told from day one of that, eventually, when they actually figured out it was IBS, is that I had to be very careful what I ate. At start, it was just spicy foods and anything that's rich would affect my stomach. And they said as I get older, it'll get worse, to the point where anything spicy above a certain place, I won't be able to eat. Anything rich, I won't be able to eat. So I'm buggered basically. If I go to Home Bargains and get a mixed salad or something, a pasta, and it has rich mayo in it, can't eat it. But the more I got older, I used to be able to have jalfrezis. That's added to the list now. I can't eat jalfrezis, and even worse, which doesn't really bother me 100%, is because I was off chocolate anyway because of my migraines. But I can have milk chocolate, it's a good thing, and white chocolate. But now that I've got older, I can't have anything with caramel in, so that really sucks right now. And that all stems from that one fucking punch, and you may want to not believe me, you may want to believe me, but that's where it started from, that one punch to the belly, and that gradually, each time I get older, is going to get worse. That's why, he might not know that, and I guarantee, for being a twat he wouldn't care that punch that he delivered is going to affect me for the rest of my life. I have to live with that, and I don't want people to go, oh, I feel bad because this happened, I want to go, I don't want any of that. That's the way that life's been dealt for me. I have to live with it, and I'm quite happy because I love to eat healthier foods. It gives me a reason to eat healthier food, to get off the stuff that is too spicy or expensive or not for me. But again, I still have to be careful of what good food I like. Hell, if it comes to the point that I have to just eat fruits and vegetables for the rest of my life, I'd love that, because I love strawberries, I love banana, I love apple. That's my meals when I get older. That'll do me, keep me healthy. Anyway, after the bullying that was caused into depression, was quite a load of people that were pushing me around. One of them I did stand. Two bullies in this I stood up to. Maybe in the wrong way, but don't care. There was an LF, bully, and there was a Mark bully. Mark bully, I stood up to because he threw my friend into a skip. I saw that happening. I chased him down and punched him one. Should I have just stood up to him and said, "What the hell are you doing?" Use words? Maybe, but these bullies, they don't care about words. They just laugh you off. The only words they understood is a fist. And yeah, I'm not proud I punched him, but I felt like I was defending a good friend of mine. He needed. Oh, bullies need telling, and the more you're weak to them, the more they thrive on it. There was also times with LF who thought it was hard because he had a friend, which is RH, the main bully, that he could, pretend to be cocky and hard, who ends up in his later life being in and out of prison, but who cares about that? He's wasted his life. But, he kept on threatening to have a fight with me, which I later was told he did have a fight with Stephen P, my friend. That's not his real name, but it's his protagonist name. And he got him into a headlock, tried to choke him out and everything, but Stephen P got a couple of good punches in and got away. Now, I know for a fact LF will tell you a different story, because he kept on spreading around the school that, I was a chicken, I didn't show up to the fight. I was there. I was standing there, and he ran away. I saw him leaving the school. Alright, I had a few witnesses, but all his friends were like, "Oh yeah, he is, yeah." Caught him talking about it the next day, talking to his friends and these girls that he was being cocky and like, "Oh yeah, I'm a hard man" with. And I was just standing behind him. I walked up behind him and said, "Really? So you weren't the one that walked straight out of the gate when I was standing in this position waiting to fight you?" He was like, "Oh, shut up, you didn't turn up, you're a chicken." So I was like, "No, but I'm here now." So, he was like, "Nah." So I punched him in the arm, and he ran off, kicking off, saying, "Oh, you're a dead man, blah, blah, blah. RH is going to beat you up." No, he never did. He wasn't in school the next day, and lo and behold, when he did turn up, nothing happened. Prepared for it. Till those points where, he kept on, RH was kept on bullying me a lot, was pushing me around, to the point I just got so fed up with one of the last days. One of the many reasons why, one, I walked out of school, and two, I got suspended. I grabbed his head and smacked it against the table and walked out. So, yeah. But it just got to that point where it was just on and on, same stuff, pushing me around, yada yada. Leading up to the point that a few teachers were disappointed in my behaviour because they knew my mum, my uncle, and they were like disappointed that they didn't believe that I would turn into my dad, sort of thing. Be, always bunking off, being rude to the teachers, and sadly, I did. I remember one teacher, Mrs. Websall, who sadly is no longer with us. She passed away quite some time ago. She was friends with my dad's family, and when she last saw my mum, she was like, she felt like she let me down because I had to leave school and the bullying got too much. That made me feel bad, and then finding out when she passed away, it was like, man, if only I was more open. But at the same time, what could she do? Mrs. Websall couldn't do nothing, and wherever she is up in the clouds or whatever people believe, don't I feel bad now, but you can't blame yourself for the bullying. The bullying was going to happen. You can't feel disappointed that you've failed in me. It's not your job to be looking after me. Nothing you could do. The head teacher was supposed to be the one in charge, and he was a prick and couldn't do anything. Talking of head teachers, when I had my 2-week suspension, the last day before going on that 2-week suspension, I was in referral, which is a room where you're sitting there with other naughty children, and you stay there, and then you get suspended. I remember he called me to the office before I was leaving, said all his piece, and was like, I'll see you in 2 weeks. And I was like, you're fucking not. And in my head, I was like, shocked that I even said it to myself, but I was at that point. I've had enough. People bullied me too much. They've made stories about me that I thought, fuck it, yeah, bollocks, I've done it, but it was all false. None of this happened. And, I'll get to that in a minute. And as I remembered, I was like, you're fucking not. I was like, you put your head, shine it up so good to make it a crystal ball and see that I'm not going to be coming back to this shitty school. And he was like, oh, pretend I didn't hear that, see you in 2 weeks. I was like, you're fucking not. And as I walked down the stairs, maybe I shouldn't have done that, but I was just, at that point, I was broken. I just wanted to get out of the school. And as I was heading out, he was looking out the office window. I turned around and he was looking down at me, and I flipped the V's at him and I went off smiling. Because I knew I wasn't going to go back to that fucking school. I had enough of the bullying. To the point of the bullying was just so far to the point where punching him didn't get me suspended, but it was one of the main reasons I was in trouble and had head detention. I skipped head detention, knowing I should have got suspended, but I didn't. To the point that a girlfriend that a relationship was breaking because of the bullying. At this time I was in year 8, the girl's in year 7. And because her friends were friends with friends in my year who were bullying me, it got to the point where we ended the relationship, and then she started spreading rumours of stuff that happened, which 100% is false. She went round to her friends to tell people in my year to spread a story that never actually happened, to the point where apparently it got to the headmaster that it was all happening. And when it got to the point, I just was like, yeah, alright, fuck it, get me out of the school. I did it, but I didn't. The true story of my suspension was because I was bullied so much that I fought back in the wrong ways, and that missing that head detention put enough points on it, and then having that added bullshit lie story from that one girl who clearly lied to the point that it was spread around the school that it happened, and they wanted to push me so far, see how far it would get, because they didn't like me because I was quiet, and I was a wrestling fan with my mate, and I kept on defending my mate because we were both wrestling fans, and they didn't like it because we were different. So yeah, they pushed it so far to the point that I just said yeah, even though it was all fake and it was a lie. But that was added on to saying that was part of the suspension when it wasn't, because nothing actually happened. And even my friend Stephen P, fake name, had the same issues with year 7s. They were always cocky little shits, bullying him, saying, oh, can't go this way, can't go that way, pushing him around because they're friends of people in our year, and because we both like wrestling, they just targeted him next after I stepped away and left that school. So yeah, he had so many different. He had one different bully to me, was a female who kept on drawing on his birthmark and RH also bullied him about his birthmark, kept him taking the mick out of him. LF took the piss out of him, called him a tramp, and I was like, now as his best friend, a lot of people will say, oh yeah, but you're his best friend, you would say that. No, as a normal human being, I never noticed, and he told me that he had surgery on his birthmark to get rid of it because of the bullying, and I was like, that is dramatically, that is something that really annoys me, that some bullies push that far to someone to have surgery to remove something that's part of them. And as I will state in this video, and I probably said it back then, even though I don't think either of us remember, because pretty much blocked out most of Brilliant. I never noticed he had a birthmark on his head. And to be honest, as being a soft git I am, I never bullied anybody for anything that was wrong with them. We had a girl in the class that everybody kept on calling lesbian, and I felt bad because I called her a lesbian, and I actually told her, oh, I apologise, I don't really mean I'm just trying, and she understood. But, it's one of them. It happens. But the aftermath of all stuff that happened to me, I can't comment on Stephen P, because I don't think he's at that stage to go that far, but I'm at that stage where I'm happy to say it. From all those years of bullying and punching, I ended up with IBS, extreme severe depression as they listed it, and I still suffer with depression nowadays. The odd time have some flashbacks of the bullying, but I just let it slide by nowadays because I've got better things to do in my life. There was even points of self-harm, so yeah, I've got scars, as I say, physical and mental scars that will stay with me for the rest of my life. There was a time where I took 100 painkillers just to get out of the pain I was in. I took 100 sleeping tablets so I could just sleep and get out of the pain that I was in and get away from them bullies. And out of all that, I'm still here. It's amazing how much far bullies will push you to that sort of stuff, and being able to be a survivor of that, to be able to give back to people that have tried to help me out through the years to get to where I am now, it's remarkable. And this is why I like to raise awareness of this stuff, because I'm giving back what support I was given, that there isn't any support out there. But when you do find some support, get hold of it quick and stick to it. But I always say, link with people that have been through the same situation, so that you know that they're coming from a place where they understand what you're going through. They've been through similar. It won't be the same. Sometimes they can read through when they read through this book, I guarantee people will be like, I've had that issue. I've had that issue. You can understand, you can see yourself in that character, that position. Something that little groups could set up. Professionals might not understand what we go through. Professionals, they'll tell you to get professional help. They just go buy a book and think, oh yeah, this will do. No. The best form of advice I can give, I don't tell people what to do. Right? What I give advice is you find out what your triggers are. You find out what works for you to keep yourself away from them triggers in a positive way and keep yourself going. Like me, I create content on YouTube and Twitch. I do TikToks as well, just to entertain people, to get their minds off of the shit that's going on in the world. And I enjoy the feedback I get from people saying that I've helped them in their depression just by watching my videos and me talking. It takes their minds off of the shit that's going on. We always try and find that escapism. My escapism was gaming, acting, comedy, anything, being stupid, in a safer way. And that's what I thrive on. This is why I keep coming back, even though I've always been underappreciated on YouTube. But I keep doing it because somewhere, someone needs these videos to look at and take their minds off shit. And I need to keep my mind off shit. I need to keep myself entertained to entertain others. I've always been an entertainer. I've always been a comedian. I've always been a gamer. So that's what I know. That's what I'm going to stick with. So yeah. But that's basically it. And the stories are pretty similar with Stephen P, where he was thrown into a skip, and I went up back to the lad that done it. He was also singled out in a music class, and nobody cared. There was, people pushing around, scribbling in on his head. To the point, bullying got to the point of him, physically being upset and walking out of school. But he still stuck up, going to school somehow. And I can respect that he stayed all that time, put up with that bullying. Where I feel I failed, and my own best friend who stuck at it, stayed with the school for the whole way. When I couldn't take anymore, and I had to back away and leave the school because I couldn't cope with all this shit that I was being put through. And now hearing the stories that he has, it makes me feel bad because I let my friend down. But it feels good in a way that he doesn't blame me. He understood why I had to leave. But yeah, I feel bad. But one of them, it's like, unfortunately, I had to leave. And yeah, things with things. But hey, we still got great friendship out of it. We still talk about wrestling, and that's never going to break. To be honest, I don't think me and my friend ever broke friendship. We were always great friends. We always talked nothing but wrestling, and he had his own wrestling podcasting that he used to do. I don't know if he still does it, but he was always a good friend to talk to, and he was the only one that I stuck close to because of the wrestling. The other friends like Hodge, Trog, they didn't like wrestling. Arthur, which, another friend of they were more ones that I drove to when it was more like Jackass stuff with Arthur, Sonic and gaming stuff with Hodge. But really it was more the friend Stephen P, who I stuck to because that was my main thing. I loved wrestling and I enjoyed the aspect of wrestling, and we always threw off wrestling ideas at each other, and sometimes when it was more a gaming thing, I talked about Sonic with Hodge to keep things mixed. But I've always kept the friendship with Stephen P because of the wrestling. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this sad, depressing video. Hopefully it hasn't depressed you too much. Were you ever bullied in school? You don't have to tell me experience to say if you ever were bullied in school. Stupid fly. What was your experience? What was the aftermath, if you like to talk about it or not? Or did you just have a good school life? I mean, looking at all the bad stuff is to get that out of the way. There was some good stuff, and that's in the book as well. There was some good stuff where getting good nicknames, playing wrestling, making a keyring in DT, making a battery charger, and making a Dana's open sandwich, making a hat, which is pretty shit, but I made a hat. Laughing with some teachers I knew, like Guy Jones, Mr. P, Mr. Pickering. He was a very fun sound old guy. Having a laugh with Sean Brown, he was a teacher that knew my mum. Never getting away with anything. When she used to do my homework, I used to get told off. It was like, your mum's be doing your homework, hasn't she? Yeah. That sort of things are fun. I want to try and remember, but it's always the bullying that slides in there. And writing the book makes it break it down for a bit. That there were some good times in school. A lot of people think, oh, you know, you had a bad time in school. It was all bad. You know, you always hated school, and it's like that's because all the bad memories come through. There were some good memories, and they were blocked by the bad memories, which is annoying. That bad memories always block the good memories. And with this book I'm writing, the history of Fresh Dance, starting from the high schools when the start of the depression, the bullying, the IBS came from. There was some bullying in junior school, which I can talk about, but there was a bit more happier memories in junior school than there was high school. High school's where it got worse. Junior school's where I had all the fun. Yeah, the odd stupid bullying that was going on by two people. Infant school wasn't any bullying apart from the first infant school when I was in the Moxford infants. But then when I went to Conway Road, good as gold, a lot of fun. That part I can't remember loads of shit on, but I'm trying to gather up information from friends who do have a better memory than me. But some hit and miss memories, so I can put together what I can. Anyway, thanks once again for watching this video. If you did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe, share to your friends on social media, and we'll catch you, the Game Bro Studio fans, in the next one. Dismissed. In the middle way.